since the planes are flying, Zenith is there. So the very first altimeter ever produced for aviation were made by Zenith, okay? And I'm not talking about 1940, I'm talking about 1900. Zenith has a legacy of more than a century in the history of aviation, and the pilot name, for example, is registered by Zenith since ever, and we own the name Pilot for watches. We found in the archives of the company a caliber called 5011, and that caliber is a legendary caliber of the watch industry. It was developed in the 50s, and Zenith won 277 prizes with that caliber out of the 2,333 prizes won by the company. And it's a legendary caliber because it has been used as board instrument in planes, as a marine chronometer on board of boats, as a pocket watch, and now as a wristwatch. We did a watch inspired by the very first watch worn by Blériot. Actually, the pilots almost invented the wristwatches, and they were looking very much like pocket watches with a strap. And this is why, if you look at that watch, it looks a little bit like a, in a way, pocket watches style, but also very contemporary. The figures, they're not painted figures, but they're apply indexes, superluminova apply indexes. So we stamped them the same way if we had to stamp indexes, figures, metal figures, but they are in superluminova, so they're much thicker. It makes them lasting for much longer than just painting. So it's limited to 250 pieces. It's a titanium watch because it's 58 millimeters. So being big, it has to be light. And there will be also a limited edition of 75 pieces in pink gold. Yeah, it's called Doublematic wall timer. And why Doublematic? Because I had two barrels. One barrel is for the watch, and the other barrel is for the alarm. And it's a wall timer, and you have an alarm which is not striking the back of the watch like a cricket, but it's an alarm, it's a hammer, which is striking a chime like on a minute repeater. And last but not least, the alarm is lasting more than 30 seconds. So it's really something which can wake you up. And the design is very attractive. And again, you'll find the same principle in terms of indexes. It's also superluminova. It's available in steel, not limited, and rose gold limited edition. Very proud of the Espada. It's the only three-hands watch in the world beating the high frequency. So the Espada, the name is an old name back from the 70s in the Zenith collection, and it means a sword. So it's something you need when you wake up in the morning in the world where we live, you know. You need an Espada. And that watch is a timeless manufactured watch with an open case back. So it's a watch which has really all the codes of a manufactured watch, but sport chic that you can use from the morning, let's say Monday morning to Sunday night. Captain is completely dedicated to elegance. Zenith has been producing since the very beginning reliable, precise and elegant watches back in the 50s, and we had a name called Captain. And we, since now 2 years, we have a new collection called Captain, and in that collection we start by the central second, but we also have the Power Reserve, we have the Moon Phase, we have then also a chronograph, which is really a timeless chronograph. When you cannot make any mistake, you buy it, you will love it for your lifetime, and even maybe the next generation will thank you for having had such a good taste when buying it. This watch represents a big step forward for the watch industry, because you know that watchmakers have been looking forever to control the effect of gravity on the balance spring and the escapement itself. And actually, in marine chronometers, which were placed on gimbals. Whatever the position of the boat, the mechanism was always staying horizontal. And horizontality is the best position for a watch because it's where the amplitude is the best, and it is where you can control the effect of gravity, because gravity is pulling down something which is horizontal, so it has actually almost no effect on the mechanism itself. And for the first time, a watchmaker, Zenith, developed a mechanism which is now patented, which can move in all directions. So it means whatever the position of my wrist, the balance spring will stay horizontal. The tourbillon was invented to self-compensate the effect of gravity in the vertical position for pocket watches. And in 1 minute, the mechanism is rotating around an axis just to compensate this effect of gravity in 1 minute. So it means that if you're wearing a tourbillon watch on your wrist, theoretically speaking, you won't be compensating any effect but with that watch, because as you see, it's working in the 3 dimension, if I may say so, the mechanism always stays horizontal. So it's just what the watchmakers were looking for centuries. Zenith did it.